Club Motorsport in the United Kingdom is seen as one of the most interesting, competitive and exciting in the world. And for the remainder of 2021, I want to take you inside one of the UK's flagship organisations, the 750 Motor Club. We'll get to know the drivers, the cars and the tracks and let you know how you can get involved and go racing yourself. Today I'm going to take a look at the Hot Hatch Championship. Now, Hot Hatch racing in the United Kingdom is one of the most popular thanks to its cost, its enjoyment, its close and fair racing, and also as a fan on the other side of the fence, it's pure excitement seeing the cars battle so close throughout a typically 15-minute race. A few weeks back at the final round of the championship, I spoke to the new Class B champion Neil Stringfellow, who had a fantastic season. This season he's been racing his formidable Peugeot 205 GTI. So before I go any further, let's get to know a little bit more about Neil.
Neil Stringfellow, and I race in the Hot Hatch series. I'm a Class B racer. My earliest memories of motorsport is my father used to race Brisker Formula 1 in the 70s. Believe it or not, I am that old. The sounds of the engines, the noise, the smell, phenomenal. I'd never forget that kind of thing. To see them bashing each other up on the track as well, it was brilliant times. So seeing him when I was a young kid always inspired me to want to race cars, and I progressed up through racing radio control cars and then to rallying and then to these. Always with a Peugeot.
The Hot Hatch Championship saw a spike in entries throughout the 2021 season for various reasons, the first of which could be the new format in terms of classes. 3 classes, A through C, A being 200 brake horsepower per tonne, B being 175 brake horsepower per tonne, and Class C 145 brake horsepower per tonne. And these 3 classes are monitored from the flywheel power at a Maha dyno, which is listed in the regulations, and this includes the weight of the driver. The regulations are quite familiar if you race in this sort of series already. Any production engine originally made by the manufacturer in question is fine. Modifications to the head and block are free, but must be based on standard parts, and the engine power, which is rated at the flywheel, must be declared at the time of registration.
I used to rally, and I really enjoyed the rallying, and when we had a family it was more conducive to go racing for the family because of the paddock facilities and the ability to watch on the track. The nerves never stop. In fact, I've been worse this weekend than I've ever had. I've felt sick, nauseous, I was shaking and sweating, but as soon as you get in the car and you close the door and you're on the grid, it's gone. It's brilliant.
So let's pick up a few more details for this championship and some of the key areas to make sure the cars are pretty similar out on track. Even though the great thing about this championship is that one car might be good at one track and one at another. Let's start with the suspension. The standard configuration and pickup points must be used. Dampers and spring, however, are free. Electronically adjustable suspension is not permitted, nor should it be possible for the driver to make any geometry changes while sitting in the car. As for the brakes, Class C must retain its standard calipers, however Class A and B are free, but that is with the exception of carbon discs. They are not permitted at all. 4-wheel drive cars are not permitted, but cars can either be front or rear wheel drive, no restrictions there. Sequential gearboxes are not permitted except for the Clio Cup cars, but they must run additional ballast, which we'll see in the regulations. And Class C must run the standard production unit in its original location and orientation. Tyres are nice and free. They must be on the Motorsport UK list, 1A, 1B or 1C. Size is free, but the tyres must be to MOT standards in all respects.
It's really a short track car because it's very twitchy, very nimble. Not really for tracks like this, there's not much top speed, but it does go around corners. So Brands Hatch, Croft, and again Cadwell is a phenomenal track. So going around this Cadwell in this car is breathtaking. This car's been developed over 5 years as the series has developed, and the beauty about the series is it's given the potential to develop the car as well, which for me, and the people here, it's like a big family. I know you probably heard it 100 times, but the social side of it is really, really good. It's something that it grabs you and takes you. So I've always loved my Peugeots, and I wouldn't go to these Civics and more modern cars. They're lovely, and I'd love to drive. I'd love to drive one if anyone wants to lend me one. But I wouldn't change, not now. No, I've had too many of these, and I know my way around them.
I've watched this championship for quite a few years now. It always stands out to me because of the fantastic liveries you see out on track, the incredible variety. We see Neil's car, it's one of the older cars out on track, but as proven in 2021, a championship winner once more. So you definitely don't need to be running the newest car to be going out there and being successful. It's about how it's prepared and how close it fits to the regulations and how much you're getting out of the car as the driver. That's the beauty of this series. The Hot Hatch typically runs double header weekends, but there have been a couple of triple headers over the years, including the final round of the season. Club membership is just £25, season registration is at £135, and the double header race weekends, which is qualifying and 2 15-minute races, are once again between £250 and £350, which depends on the circuit. Of course, you'll be paying a bit more for a triple header. As this form of racing is so popular in the UK, you can find cars for as little as £4,000. Of course, you'll be paying probably a little bit more than that to be getting a more competitive car. Then of course, if you want to race within Class B or A, then you're likely going to be paying a little bit more. Something I found quite interesting about this championship is you see cars throughout the grid battling each other, whether they're in Class A or C. You sometimes see them racing out on track because, the person behind the wheel might not be so experienced. But I think the great thing about that is, whatever your experience in motorsport, you can jump into this championship and have someone to battle with, which is really quite exciting.
The first race yesterday was brilliant. We really were nip and tuck for over 3 or 4 laps, inches apart, but very clean. Never touched panels. So yeah, brilliant race yesterday. So over the 5 years I've always wanted to win a championship, which I've done that. Did it yesterday, I wrapped it up. So, and it's been a long toil, mentally and physically, and monetary terms. So I probably won't go for it again, but I will pick and choose my races in future. And try and get more enjoyment out of it, because at some points during the year it's been hard, real hard. So yeah, that was my aspiration, and now unfortunately, as far as my wife's concerned, my aspiration is marathon running.
A massive thank you to everyone that put this together, as always, to Neil for his time at Snetterton, and of course congratulations to him once again for his championship this season. And also to everyone at the 750 Motor Club that makes these videos possible. I always love putting them together, and it's just great to have another weekend out and film some racing. It's pretty awesome. So I look forward to sharing another episode with you shortly, but until then, thank you for watching.